Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the late start today. I know you've been waiting an incredible 3 minutes. Hopefully, this talk wasn't too hard to find. I saw Hardy saying it's getting harder and harder, and it's true. But you guys still know where to find it, so that's good for now. We're gonna set up where notifications are set up in the Discord if you want that. So definitely roll on there. Otherwise, welcome back, everyone. How's it going? And sorry if you were about to speak and I muted you. I just muted all speakers as a way to end the waiting music.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was. I was like, okay.
How's it going?
We've heard of stocks going to the moon, but some guy in the comments says Tesla should go to the core to the earth.
It's sitting at 109 right now, right?
I think it just had a pop to 111, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that's short lived. I think we're gonna see below 100.
Yes, we saw 107 in after hours yesterday.
Does anybody know what max pain is for Tesla?
50.
Didn't the IPO at $17?
Yeah, I think
that's very spicy.
I think the bottom is like who the fuck knows what the bottom is, but anything under 100 I think is fair game. And looking at where it was projected last year and where it is this year, once we get back into a bull market, whenever the fuck that happens, obviously Tesla is gonna
skyrocket.
Yeah, it's gonna flourish like all the other tech stocks and all the stuff that entrepreneurs are investing in and the click, quote unquote, stocks, if you will. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think it's a volatile stock, but I think that it's a good investment once it's under 100.
Like, agreed.
Legends long ago tell of a market of bulls where tendies rain abundantly and stocks go to the moon.
Okay, Grandpa. Let's go.
Yeah, Grandpa, tell us about the good times again, Grandpa.
Tell us about the good times.
Tesla Max Pain is currently at 138, but the problem I have with Max Pain is it's the price where most options contracts from open interest expire are worthless. You don't necessarily know the amount of premium that was exchanged to open those contracts in the first place.
Right. Absolutely. You don't know what people were throwing at it,
Well, in after hours, I got my limit order filled at 107.50 for 150 shares of Tesla. So pray for me.
Above 65, still overvalued.
Yeah, I would say I would look at how the market performs today, and if you make a pretty penny off of those 150 shares going up $4, cash that out and then buy puts, because I don't think we've seen the bottom of Tesla yet.
Yeah, if you buy Tesla at this level above 100, you have no idea on how to value money. Okay.
According to our EV expert yesterday, only outcome, he said that the bottom or the bear market for Tesla should be about like 70, 75, maybe 80. So if anything, look to get in around there.
So not to say I told you so, but Peloton is currently trading at, I believe it's $8.30, maybe a little bit more, $8.50. My $9 puts are printing.
Their business model makes no sense. That's a big short.
And our favorite car vendor out there, Carvana, is, I think, at what, $3.50, $3.70 before trading.
Hey,
KFC's under
opinion.
$4.
Opinion.
Yeah.
Why do we have like only 705 people? I was expecting a bigger state, you know? What's going on today?
I think you forgot to invite the other 300. You sent out all the invitations, right? Handwritten ones?
Me?
Yeah, didn't you get the memo? It's your responsibility to send out the invitations, journalist. Like, what the fuck?
Well,
your
to be
job,
honest, to be honest, my followers, meaning those who DM me when you banned me, are like close to 390. So yeah, if you can see,
That's
I
it?
can, yeah, 390 something.
Are they all here?
Oh, that's
I think that's-
adorable.
I think that's the max capacity of a local Walmart.
All right, guys, let's start. I have just 3 minutes, okay, before I leave. So let me share a bet with you. May I?
Oh yeah, we're listening.
Please.
I just set my timer.
Okay, so as you guys know, I don't just talk every single day about Peloton, about Tesla, and the same shit over and over again. I focus my energy, my high intellectual level on value investing, right? You know that. So I made a lot of money in the past within the retail sector, especially in the footwear sub industry. So I am kind of opening position in one of the most iconic boot makers around the world. Those in the UK will recognize immediately. Those in the US probably you need to research a little bit, but it's there as well. Okay, it's called Dr. Martens. Yeah.
What is it? I've never heard of that.
Doc Martin, the shoe company. Go ahead.
Yeah, that one. Sorry for the guy who said I've never heard. I'm not here to ask personal opinions. All right, just listen to my due diligence, and I'm off because I'm very busy. Right. So okay, now this company PE ratio is kind of fair right now. It's 9-10 with a dividend yield of 3.2%. Okay. What's interesting is the growth rate and obviously the brand. The brand is unique. Like we're not talking about just another shoemaker. Okay. Just do a little bit of research about the history of this company and what's the target market, and you will realize why I'm mentioning this. Oh, sorry, give me a second. I'm just being called. Just give me a second.
For someone who says he doesn't have a lot of time, you sure are taking your sweet time telling us about this.
I'm saying.
He's got 1 minute left.
I'll
pause
let
it.
journalists finish before I post my counter DD.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, I'm a busy guy, so I'm being just called by strategic people. All right, so I have just few seconds. So it's basically the growth rate, 17% the last year. Okay, gross margin plus 60%. So you can see that there is a good kind of they are good in their field. Okay, if they
Journalist,
can
shout
defend.
out the ticker for the people that don't know. What's the ticker?
Yeah, that will come in the end. Okay, so operating margin is 25%, which is very good to be a footwear company. Net profit margin, this is kind of very volatile. I cannot tell you an average, but last year it was 20%. You will see a decrease, I suppose, now that the inflation rate, high inventory, as everyone is suffering, blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. So this is a good moment for you to start the position because stock is down like close to 50%. As overall. Say again.
What makes it a value play?
Are you not listening?
I'm just trying to understand.
You're saying a bunch of nonsense, man.
Oh, you hit your
All right.
3-minute limit.
Okay, then just to answer the question, to finish, what makes a value investing? Maybe you first need to research what value investing means. Okay, I'm done.
Journalists, you and I
Thank you,
both
everyone.
know a lot of the listeners here are
Get
quite
out of
Thank you.
here, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
Thank you so much. I
What?
did not get the ticker.
Why are you so being
I
so
promise.
disrespectful, man? I'm just
Can I
sharing,
get the ticker?
bets with you.
Can I get the
Journalist,
What
ticker?
was the
go.
ticker?
Ticker.
What's the ticker, journalist?
Yeah, you said
Ticker-
you were going to give it to us.
Ticker is DOCS. D for Denmark, O for O, C for C, S for S.
That ticker is for doximity. I don't think that's what you meant. Are you trading by any chance on the London Stock Exchange?
Yes, I am. I'm very international, Hardy, as you know.
Oh
Okay,
my
cool.
God.
I'm
The
in
majority
Japan,
of listeners here
so
are
I don't understand what
American.
the fuck you're talking about.
So they probably need the
I fucking told you
Uh,
guys, get him out of here.
they need the ADR, which is DOCMF, Delta Oscar Charlie Mike Foxtrot. That is the US ticker for Doc Martens.
Okay, and
Sorry,
for us in
sorry,
Japan,
Hardy. Just to understand, Hardy. Whenever I
for us in
recommend,
Japan,
whenever I recommend a European stock, should I assume that you guys based in the US, the most advanced stock market, whatever, and with the biggest, the biggest.
I thought you
stock.
only had a minute, man. Get out of here.
So
Hey,
you
can
don't
I
have
just say-
access to European stocks? From
I have
New
the
York?
access to
Most of
European
the apes
stocks.
here do not have direct access
You,
to European
so you are
exchange
sitting at
journalists.
Wall Street. You are sitting on Wall Street, and you don't have access to London Stock
my
Exchange.
God.
Nobody's sitting
I
on
know,
Wall
right?
Street,
Can I-
you fucking
Okay.
dumb
Hey,
fuck.
Hey,
Can I
okay,
ask a
okay.
question?
One at a time. Hardy, go ahead.
Please.
So, to make things clear, very few people here, journalists, have access, let alone capital, to trade on an international stock exchange. And understanding your audience, I imagine, is very important. I recognize your intelligence is probably higher than you think it is, or than some other people think it is. But at the same time, you have to recognize that because other folks here's intelligence doesn't match yours, either up or down, you need to speak at their level. And that often means being able to offer plays in markets where they trade.
Can I ask one question real quick? Isn't the U.S. stock market the most liquid? Last time I checked.
No, not exactly. Or it depends on how you calculate liquidity.
Minus Taiwan, because you could argue Taiwan, but minus Taiwan.
Then probably yes, definitely top 10.
I thank you, Hardy. I think you have a point here. Maybe the intellectual level of this audience, there is let's say a gap, right?
It is inconsistent, that's for sure.
Can I ask a serious question? I consider myself somewhat intelligent, medium IQ, maybe on the lower spectrum some days, sometimes on the higher spectrum. I've met a lot of people, traveled around the world, including Europe, Asia, America, back to Europe, back to Asia, and all over nationwide. I've never met someone that talks like you, and I've met a lot of people. So I'm just curious, is it just me, or is it very condescending, your tone, or do you feel like it's just very
I get it. I
direct?
pick it up.
Point.
I'm the same way. I feel the same shit, dude. Like I don't take much that he says seriously. I feel like I'm being trolled.
Well, that's because you didn't
Bro,
check
dude
the.
fucking lost me when he said we're sitting in Wall Street.
Okay,
Let's focus on the plays, everyone, including you, journalist.
Yeah, just to finish because I'm leaving. Last time I recommended a stock, it was up 50%. Okay, so I don't know what else I have to do to prove my level.
All right. Well, thank you. That's unfortunately all the time the journalist has for today. He's very graciously spent 8 minutes with us instead of the 3 that he promised he would. So, with that being said, let's turn back to plays.
So I'm looking at, not to jump in, sorry, but I'm looking at AAPL puts. Also looking at Myrna going down today. SE needs to fill the 38 gap, so looking to play some puts on that. J&G is on my watch list. I was going to put the DOCS. I couldn't understand what journalist was recommending, but I guess I'll get around to it. I have to replay it a couple hundred times in order to get the understanding of what he said.
Moderna had a major sell-off yesterday after it peaked at the 200 mark. I think it's going to sell off a little bit more today as well. So, yeah, puts probably on the money, expiring at the end of the week.
I think Hardy came back with the American ticker for that. Am I right, Hardy? Did you give us the American ticker for Doc Mart?
I did.
Yeah, I think it was
But my
DOT
counter
on that,
DD to
right?
Doc Martin is friendly story, just so we're all aware. I happen to know one of the leather suppliers for their boots, and orders are down about 15% year over year for this one supplier. So instead of hypothetically 10 million square feet of leather, it's 8.5 million square feet. So something to think about as we head into potential plays in Doc Martin. That doesn't mean it's a bad investment. I'm just saying the bottom's not in yet.
Or they've moved suppliers.
Also possible, but this is their second largest supplier. This is the second largest leather supplier, so I'm not entirely sure that's the case.
They measure leather in square feet, not in cows.
Correct, because cows are not as consistent as you'd hope. Average cow is like one hide is anywhere between 20 to 25 square feet of usable material.
Oh, that's
I
really
wish
cool.
I could say a joke and make myself snort laugh. That's funny. That's great. That's a talent, man.
I thought I heard a snort.
So Southwest had to cancel a bunch of flights again today. What do we think is going to happen there? Or he just puts the play?
As much
It's
as I
already
love,
priced in, as far as I'm concerned, unless DOT slaps them with a massive fine. That's the only kind of catalyst that I could think of, which would make Southwest hurt even more.
but so that would mean that they would have had to have done something wrong if they get hit with
Correct.
that fine,
Southwest is very reluctant to refund flyers, or
Yeah.
is very reluctant to pay reasonable expenses for alternate travel or hotel stays and such. So I imagine if people are smart enough and complain to the Department of Transportation, which regulates Southwest, that
Well, I mean, the
turn the screws on them
Transportation
for sure.
Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, already said, hey, we're investigating Southwest over this.
Yeah, and then they'll have investigated themselves and find no wrongdoing, right? So there needs to be actual fines and actions taken against Southwest.
I would concur with that finding that it's probably priced in. Just my personal opinion. There could be a little bit of downfall today, but I don't think it's going to be much to hurt them.
Yeah, it did go down at open and then down more throughout the day. So on some level, it wasn't all priced in.
What's Southwest looking like pre-market right now?
Down a very small amount, relatively speaking.
I would say maybe 20 cents, if not. I'm saying by the time it opens up, it's currently trading at 33.50 on the ask and 33.40 on the bid from TD Ameritrade. Hardy, do you think that CCL and those cruise lines, what's the other one?
Royal and Norwegian?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And then also I want to add a second question. WYNN, WYNN, and Las Vegas Sands, LSV, I think it is. Do you think that those the gambling plays, if you want to call it that, no pun intended, is Wall Street, and then also the Carnival Cruise Lines, those kind of things, do you think those will pick up some momentum into 2023?
I'm not 100% sure, and let me explain. I was off last week on a cruise hosted by Royal Caribbean, and the ship was absolutely full, 4,700 passengers, like 1,600 of which were children, and there were lines for everything. All the things that could be upcharged was booked. You couldn't take advantage for example, of the unlimited dining package. There was a special Santa visit, which cost a princely sum, and the line was about half the length of the ship. So Royal Caribbean is doing everything they can, at least for this holiday sailing, to extract the highest dollars per passenger that they could. And despite that, it appears, because of the increased labor costs to operate the ship, basically a lot of Europeans and Eastern Europeans working the ship instead of East Asians, I'm of the impression that Royal Caribbean margins are on the ship, not on the other ancillary revenue they have, is lower than what's being reported in their quarterly reports. That is to say, the margins that the majority of the revenue produces is lower than the higher margin portion of their revenue, or is otherwise dragging the average down. Now, when you zoom out a little bit, consider that they basically had no revenue during COVID, definitely no profits during COVID. They still had the cost of maintaining the ships, and they've had to either assume more debt or eat into whatever cash holdings they had. You effectively are now behind 1 or 2 years worth of profits. And because of that, they're going to try and be more aggressive in getting those profits back. Now, there's a distinction between the three major cruise lines, Carnival, Royal, and Norwegian. Carnival and Royal on their mainstream brands, so think Royal Caribbean, Carnival, MSC, Celebrity, etc. They're focused more on unbundling, where they will fill as many berths as they can with passengers and then upsell the hell out of them while on board. Norwegian is taking a different approach, where they are maintaining the bundles but charging a higher price per passenger per day. And they're achieving, I believe it's like an 85 to 90% load factor on their ships versus 97 to 100% on Carnival and Royal. It's unclear which strategy will work out in the long run, but I get the impression the cruise industry will continue to hurt as they make up the lost profits from COVID. Now, in the gambling space, with Las Vegas reopening, it's unclear from my perspective how many people's fortunes, because of these pending layoffs in Q1, will try to, well, how many people laid off in the coming layoff waves will try to reverse their fortunes in Vegas. I did look into booking a trip for President's Day weekend, which is like mid-late February, and rooms were going for in excess of $300-$400 a night, and they were all booked out, booked solid. So I get the impression that a lot of folks still have the money and disposable income to go to Vegas and still spend money there, but I'm not entirely sure the growth is going to stay, mainly because the week following prices dropped to $70 a night for the hotels I was looking at. So if you were looking for a specific place, I would avoid the cruise ships for now, or the cruise lines for now, until we get a better sense of the demand going into the slow season, which would be Q1, Q2. And yes?
Just a quick question about that. I read an article about some guy who like rented his room on a cruise ship for a whole year for like
yes,
$300.
Mario.
That what if that starts becoming more and more prevalent?
Very unlikely, because while it's true you can live on a cruise ship, it's definitely possible. Keep in mind that internet is not free, and it costs an additional upwards of $20 to $25 per day for modest satellite internet. And
Unlimited?
It's boring.
Is it
Not
unlimited?
Yeah, unlimited, but also slow. Think DSL level speeds.
Oof.
However, I believe that the lowest it goes is, let's say $100 a day, right? So about $3,000 a month. You get room, board, entertainment, food, right? So it is possible, but you'll get bored pretty quickly, I imagine, if you live aboard a cruise ship.
There was a comment in the Reddit subreddit, whatever, that covered that news article, and somebody like broke down all the costs, and that comment blew off the fucking rails, right? But it turns out that it's cheaper for that guy by like $300 a month or something like that to live on that cruise ship than it is to stay in the apartment or whatever where he's at.
He has a condo in Miami for mail and such, but you're right. It is cheaper, net of food, net of entertainment, to be on the ship.
Yeah.
Aren't there old people who,
So
like, stay on a cruise rather than going to a nursing home? Because it's pretty much
I
then
think
got,
that's
like,
a
all the care
joke.
plus the price.
I mean, that's my plan. Is that not a thing I can do? Because
No, I'm like positive
can.
it's a thing that happens on cruises. Not that it's investable, but like that's a thing that some people just do that.
You can. I don't personally recommend it, but you absolutely can. I mean, there's a gym on board. There's always a rotating cast of people you can watch. Just
Sorry,
So, in your opinion, out of because you said Norwegian, Carnival, and Royal Caribbean have their own kind of strategies of how they're trying to recoup these profits, which strategy do you feel like would survive better in a potentially impending recession?
In theory, neither, because people will save money by not taking a cruise.
Also,
regardless of the fact they'd still all get hit about the same.
I imagine. I would say Norwegian would be hit harder than Royal or Carnival. But to be fair, Royal and the amount spent per passenger per day is roughly the same across the three lines. It's when you spend it that shit differs.
Do you think if the recession gets bad enough, if we'll see some of these companies die?
Unlikely.
It takes a lot for one of these cruise ship companies to go down, man.
What about AMC?
So
Just takes one German missile, yeah.
Fire
Guys,
the
so-
torpedoes.
I was just going to say that two things. One is if you get sick on those ships, you have to port off right away so you don't affect other passengers if you have like a virus. Second, the chances of them going bankrupt is obviously slim, as Hardy said, and that's due to the fact just because there's not that much competition. If there's competition, then we can start talking.
They
Well,
also
that
have a
brings
lot of subsidies.
we're getting kind of off the plays, but that brings up a good point of how do you live on a ship if you get kicked off when you get sick?
Well, travel insurance. All right, so that travel insurance would be how you do it. But going back to the plays, I'm not really bullish across Wynn, Las Vegas Sands, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, and Carnival. But either way, you could probably make some decent Theta Gang style money on Royal Caribbean or Norwegian over Carnival. Mainly because Carnival's had multiple ship accidents this year alone. Fires on board, that kind of thing.
did anybody hear about KALA? They got some FDA nod. It's a pharmaceutical company. They were up big in after hours yesterday, and it looks like it's trending into pre-market. It might have a nice little bump for 20, 30 minutes in the opening market, but then it's going to be a sell.
Yeah, they're up 66%.
Yeah, I got in after hours yesterday, but I was just wondering if anyone's just going to play it for the quick bull run that's going to happen the first 5 minutes, hopefully.
Which ticker was that again, real quick?
KALA.
That's pretty great timing by you. How'd you scope that out?
I was just following the after hours top gainers, and it was at 20% up, 30% up, and I got in at about 45% up. So
Nice
I'm
one.
up 20% right now.
Nice little
I'm
25%
hoping it.
gain.
Yeah.
Congrats and fuck you, man.
I guess we could add Disney to the cruise line, right? As one of those.
DCL is not a major revenue driver versus parks.
Right.
Alright.
Disney does that just to have a gimmick, an amenity. It's more just to have it as an offer.
It's a flex.
Yeah, flex, basically, yeah.
All right, I appreciate the insight.
Personally, I'm American. I think most of us are here. Most of us, I think, feel like Disneyland is kind of like a trip to Paris, right? So I really don't understand how the parks make their profits other than just shitloads of people show up. I don't think there's a lot of Americans that are going multiple times.
Yes, there is.
The
Yeah,
people who go to the parks multiple times also live within roughly 2 hours driving distance.
Annual
pass. Also, I just want to put into perspective. If you've never been to Disneyland or Disney World, a bottle of water costs $34.
Yeah.
And to have any picture taken or to buy a snack or anything like that, you are paying out the ass. Everything costs a ton of money.
And despite that cost, the parks are still full.
Yeah, people still pay that for the magic.
So I want to make an argument that trampoline places where you have to pay like a shitload of money just to jump on trampoline, that's a waste of money, but people still go there. Let's think of some other things. The movie theaters could be arguably a waste of money. Arcades could be arguably a waste of money. A list goes on and on, really. Baskin Robbins, 21 flavors of ice cream.
Pretty much the whole
Starbucks. You ready for me to blow your mind? Disney World has all three of those things inside it. Yeah, I don't think Disney's revenue from the parks, though it was shunted with the pandemic, with having to shut down. And the other thing you have to consider is that there were a ton of workers at Disney that had been there for 25, 30 years, older people that were working there as greeters, as customer service reps, and those people during the pandemic got furloughed, and a lot of them didn't get weren't brought back.
So they didn't go to the Disney streaming services to be extras or to be crew to help them with their.
They went to the real Disneyland.
Yeah.
They were Disneyland at that.
But also, just to give you an idea, my dear cousin works for Disney. She's one of the head trainers that works with the staff or the cast, quote unquote, right?
Which location?
She actually is working currently training at the Star Wars Star Cruiser. That's correct.
Is that in LA? Sorry, I don't.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's in Florida. It's in Florida.
Oh, Florida. Thank you.
So that is for those of you that don't know, the Star Cruiser is the new release that came with their Star Wars land in Hollywood Studios. The Star Cruiser is roughly $6,000 for a 2-night stay in a fully immersed Star Cruiser. Yes, I think it's fucking ridiculous as well. However,
but sorry to cut you off, Natalie. Is there anything that's new here, or is this all stuff that's been priced in and built up for years? Otherwise, I think we can move on.
This is everything. This is all the things that have just been priced in. But the major thing to remember is that regardless of the parks opening or closing, they are still training staff members. So I don't think that kind of to touch back on the main point, I don't think that the parks seem to be a constant stream of revenue for them. I don't see it going up and down as much as,
thank you,
for say the people that are like the heads, the CEOs, or even Disney Plus. I think that's having more of a effect on the stock than the parks.
So I remember a couple of months ago, I read an article about a Mario World, and while you were talking, I Googled that.
And then, is that related to Nintendo?
Yeah,
that's not Disney.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Like, it's the parks, right? And this thing's supposed to launch in a couple of years. It's like 2025, so maybe that's on our radar.
Actually, I heard Super Mario World at Universal in Hollywood supposed to open, I think, in February or March of 2023.
Yeah, this coming year.
Mario World's already opened up in Japan, so I'm not. Maybe this is an American thing.
Yeah, it's like Orlando.
Correct.
We got to start popularizing. You know how people used to always be like, "Oh, how's the weather?" Now these calls kind of feel like, "Oh, read any good news lately?" Gotta start saying like, "Read any good SEC filings lately?"
I've read them. They're very dry.
Yeah, see? We're on the interesting shit here, Opinion. We're not on the dry shit.
guys, real quick, is it time to buy into some Tesla calls for the write-up, or is it kind of a dead cat? Is it just gonna stay?
Don't do it.
Yeah, do not buy the Tesla calls right now, man.
Okay. I still got some puts. I actually I sold my puts yesterday for 110. 4 puts for 110 and 2 for 100. I was up 400% on that trade, and I still bought 2 more puts for 90. I think due in January 6th. I'm just let it burn.
As we said earlier, I think we were talking about 750.
Yeah, I heard that. Okay, so that's
I wouldn't
around
consider buying puts on Tesla until it goes back up to around 146.
Roger that.
Honestly, I personally just go for puts until Tesla's below 100 per share, and then maybe look into potential long-term calls.
And long term, you mean at least 6 months, right?
Probably, yeah. If not more, to be honest, because the bear markets and a possible mild recession at least, seeing Tesla bumping up that much, I don't know. You might go for a play with earnings, but I don't know. It sounds a little too risky.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, I'm glad to bounce these ideas off of you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, right at the beginning of the session, I said that I bought a bunch of I went long Tesla in some size. So as usual, I'm gonna go against you guys, and we'll see who wins out. Probably you guys, but you got at least one person who's playing the other side.
To my knowledge, Tesla closed their Shanghai Gigafactory, right? They still
Yep.
have Berlin, Fremont, and
Or a
Austin
weekend.
online.
Yep.
I thought they just lowered production by 5%.
That's
That's
why
what-
I'm asking.
Yeah, they just shut it down for renovation. It's a yearly thing they do, apparently.
No. There's massive COVID outbreaks, and I think they had like 37 million people or something get infected in a single day. I think that was like a week or two ago. So
I don't understand how you take any news, regardless of positive or negative, out of China. Like, I don't understand how you can take any of it at face value.
You don't.
It's
So
fake
they reported
news.
30 million. You don't. So they reported 30 million infections. The real number is probably 45.
I've got, I don't know.
So, okay.
37 million is also by far the biggest record anywhere.
I also got to remember this is Chinese New Year, so most of those people are already off. Like
Chinese
production
New
in a
Year
lot
is
of
next
plants.
month, not.
Yeah, but they're already taking off.
No, they're not. They're not allowed to.
I already have plants that are shut down for. I have plants that are shut down for 2.5 months that we order from. So, I mean, they're
Usually
taking
they
a very
shut
long New
down
Year.
2 weeks prior to 1 week after, but okay, never mind.
Yeah, I have two plants. One plant that shuts down for like 60 days, and I have another one that's shutting down for 90 days. Last year they shut down.
Which
for
regions,
30.
if I may ask?
Guangdong.
Okay, makes sense.
It's just Guangdong.
It's just Guangdong.
I don't know,
What's the other
but
one?
they're both in Guangdong. One produces vinyl for binders, and the other produces acrylic.
That region is also
I
a big
guess-
furniture maker.
I was gonna say the only way you could really test the waters per se is just see if the other factories that facilitate such manufacturing for acrylic and vinyl, you could see if those are open or not. That's really how you could play that.
My understanding is that the demand has fallen a lot. So you had this. Obviously, people are stocked, way overstocked in a lot of things, and us in particular as well. People had this push forward of demand, and so
Cool.
we've canceled containers, and they've luckily allowed us to cancel containers. But we've got a significant amount of inventory that we've got to discount and work through, and so it's a catch-22, right? I think they're seeing that a lot on their U.S. importers because they overbought, and everybody's seen that. You see it in the public markets as well as the private.
Well, I could have sworn I heard something about PVC being popular in for electricians now. Apparently, don't quote me on it. I'm not really familiar with the whole backing of it, but yeah, that's where your short of supply could come from.
I don't know. All I know is they're taking a long time off, and it seemed like it was more widespread because they've got the time to take off. But it also could be because they knew COVID was going to kill them. Everybody, I don't know.
I don't think they're. Yeah, I think personally, my personal opinion is that people like working over there. They want money, so they'll go even if they're sick. It's not. That's the last thing they want to do is be cooped up.
Yeah. Hardy, are you bearish China right now? Are you playing that Yang?
So I've been
ETF
doing
or
cash secured puts on Yang. My effective buy price when I finally get exercise is $6 a share. So it's just a matter of when, not if, for me. The fact that the COVID cases have been dramatically increasing in China now is a bit of a surprise. I was expecting it to increase dramatically mid-February, going into March, at the end of Chinese New Year, but apparently that's not the case. My thesis is that when the cases get out of control, there will be mass lockdowns, government mandated. There will probably be protests to match, but at least the lockdowns will probably be enforced as severely as they were in the past. So with that, destruction of Chinese economy, calls on Yang. The problem is because Yang is a leveraged ETF, you need to get the timing within 2 weeks.
Right.
So instead of buying calls right now, I'm just selling puts until a catalyst appears.
So help me out here. Selling puts on a bear ETF is mildly bearish. On
No.
So if the bear ETF goes up, that means the Chinese economy in this case goes down. So selling puts means I think the Chinese economy is going to be flat to slightly down. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. So
Which means the
mildly
ETF
bearish
will
on
go up.
China. Right.
Flat to slightly bearish. That's what selling puts on Yang represents. Eventually I'll switch to buying calls, but I don't think the catalyst is here yet.
Right. Got it. Makes sense.
So do you think this will transpire into Japan or Korea or other locations? Because our borders are open over here. So I imagine, obviously Chinese people and the likes want to travel over here, which they're allowed to. Do you think that we'll start to see a spike and they'll have the winter outbreak, if you want to call it that, all over again?
I don't know. But if it does, then all the more reason to buy options based on expected lockdowns.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see a spike. We're seeing a massive spike here in Florida, but that's why we're going to have some of these pharmaceutical stocks pumping over the next few days because we're going for pandemic 2. So these pharmaceutical stocks are about to get some nice green days.
Nice.
Do we know if the strands that are hitting China right now are any different than the strands that is it like the same progression of strands like Omicron into the next one, or are they still like 3 or 4 variants behind, or are they different variants altogether?
I bet they're different.
As far as I know, Omicron's about to hit them very hard because we were talking about our borders being open. I can actually see at least sort of punctual outbreaks and foreign countries outside of China, especially in Asia, because there's a lot of not really tourism but transportation going on between those countries, and honestly, it might be also another driving factor for inflation because there's if you look at the US, it just makes sense that a lot of just imports are coming from China. So given that there might be a supply shortage, I can see some Chinese products rising up in price.
So just a quick question for anybody in the room or even Hardy or anybody. So how do we build a long-term portfolio out? Do we just keep cash on the side or what's the plan here?
So I'm mostly liquid now. I intend to enter long options contracts next year, but at the moment I'm anticipating some major drop, so I'm only playing short weeklies to keep as long as the return is at least 8% annualized, because otherwise I'll just keep everything in treasuries and make 4% risk free.
Depends on you. What kind of financial products you want to buy?
I'm just looking to see if there's going to be investors coming in back into ETFs or if they're going to stay in the bond market. As Hardy was suggesting, I'm just kind of curious because obviously you don't want to play by yourself. It's not fun to be a lonely sheep.
They don't
or a
seem
lonely
to be
cow.
in the bond market though because bonds are going down.
Honestly, I'll personally wait just for a couple of months to see if there's going to be if the bottom is in. But buying ETFs at the moment, especially like with the bear markets, I would personally just wait and maybe buy the dip or one of the dips rather, and just go for the long term.
Yeah, I would be wary anything before January, February. I think we're going to see a huge drop particularly in February.
Don't forget that we expect a lot of tax loss harvesting this quarter, especially running into the end of the year. And it's possible that the buybacks will come in late January, basically 30 days later. So keep in mind in the event of a suspected pivot or a potential bull rally, it's most likely there is a strong chance that it will be driven by this buybacks as a result of the tax loss harvesting. So just something to keep in mind. And also why I'm standing on the side for the most part.
The bull rally is kind of short term though. Just
Right. It
looking
could be
at the long term.
misinterpreted as a pivot, and that's
Yeah.
not. I don't think that's the case.
Same here. Honestly, long term, it's just as neatly said, just wait a couple of months, at least until February or the end of January, and from there on, just decide for yourself if you want to buy the dip right now. Just wait a little more, because I know timing the market is not kind of difficult, obviously, but at least having good timing, sort of good timing, would be preferred rather than risking to fall, rather than risking the markets to fall even more.
So do we don't have any plays for January then? We're just basically saying sit on the sidelines?
I'm sitting on the sidelines for long options in January. Just going to keep, in this case, cash secured puts on Yang and SQQQ.
And the accounts that I can't buy options, I'm still fully invested. I mean, I'm not trying to time the market. Like in my HSA, that is my investable HSA and my rollover Roth that I'm not allowed to buy options in. I'm still fully invested, and I buy, probably once every 3 to 4 weeks. So, I mean,
who's the administrator on your Roth? Fidelity, E-Trade, Schwab, someone else?
No, Stifle. But I am allowed to manage it myself. And then I use Lively for my HSA, which also I can custodian through TD Ameritrade.
And do you mind telling us what those mean, those acronyms, if that's okay?
HSA is a health savings account. If you don't know what a health savings account is, I would strongly recommend you look into it. It's essentially, it's the best financial instrument that's ever been created. It's tax-free going in, tax-free coming out, as long as it's used for medical expenses. And at some point, odds are you're going to have medical expenses. So if you're smart, you'll just build it up. And if you could start in like your mid-20s, you could have a really nice sum of money. And because I'm a fucking nerd, what I do is we track all of our spending. So every time we pay a doctor bill, we actually pay out of pocket and we keep the receipt. And at some point in time, if we build up enough receipts, let's say it's $3 or $4 grand, or God forbid we have a bad thing and we got to spend like 10 or 15 grand, we'll pay it out of pocket. And then at some point we have $10,000 or $15,000 to pull out of our HSA tax-free that we could use to do whatever we want with. And so again, if you start early enough, and they're changing, I don't know if there's some stuff changing with HSAs and Roths and a lot of stuff. What?
I got a couple plays real quick. Good morning, fellas.
Have at it. That's boring stuff.
So
financial planning.
Yesterday I jumped in GTII on some bullshit at 120. I got out. I don't know what it's going to do today. I will keep an eye on LKCO. I can't buy it pre-market. It's already up. I'm going to see how it dumps and then just get in. Again, I just get in and get out. I don't care about these stocks. I'm also going to continue to play. What's my other little one? I'm going to continue to play TRKA. I'm going to try to enter at 12 cents. It's up kind of high today, maybe 13. I don't know what it's going to do, but like it's a pump and dump all day, but you can still get paid on those. I've been getting paid all month on these. And I may play Ape again. I got out. I sold all my buy-ins. I bought in like $1, between $1, $1.10. Like 10 or 20,000 shares in between that, like in and out. And I got out yesterday at 171 and it closed at 160, but you can't pre-market. I'm sorry, that was GTII. My apologies. With Ape, I actually got out at 190 something. Journals? Yeah. No, they're plays. There's plays. Oh, okay. I pretty much post them. I mean, I just get in and out. So I rock with the scanner. I do the volatility. And right now the market looks fucking dead. But those two, the TRK and then the LKCO, I'm going to watch that today.
TRKA has a $10 million market cap. This is hilarious.
I don't care about market caps. You know, you get money. No disrespect. I do this. I've done this for years and years and years.
His name is Big Ballin. You gotta get it right. Okay, his name's Big Ballin. So
there it is. Big Ballin.
We appreciate that. We
no
appreciate
problem.
that. What plays have we got, guys? What else you guys got?
Regarding possible Chinese lockdowns, I know this is probably, I've talked enough about this subject, but it doesn't matter. Let's do it again. Just saying there might be an increase in certain commodity prices. I'm looking at oil and nat gas, given that, again, about, I think, 2 big oil and gas companies in China, or rather, in state possession. So just saying, might have a look out on that, maybe for a call, rather an option on those commodity prices, maybe ETFs. I don't know. Just saying.
Last one, I guess, puts on Tesla. Let's see what it does this by Friday. I mean, shit. Right?
Puts on Tesla is the play.
There you go, baby. I mean,
Free money, boys.
There you go.
Lambo or Wendy's, baby.
All right, so we got some bank stocks: Goldman Sachs, GS, BAC for Bank of America, JPM for JP Morgan, MS for Morgan Stanley. If you want to go WFC, we can too. Looking for an uptick on them today. Hopefully, we can get some call action. We'll see how they do. And be following Visa. That's ticker V to see if that gaps up. Usually, that's a good indicator for now to see if it kind of gives some momentum to the bank stocks.
All right, guys. Well, may the odds be ever in your favor. I'm going to bounce. Good talking to y'all.
Yep.
All right. So, what do you guys think about semiconductors? You think they got a good play coming up? Any hidden industries you guys looking at, like, that see a little bit of call or put action? You guys want to discuss?
On the semiconductor, there's Skywater Technologies, which is one that I've been in and out of twice the last year, and it is. I don't understand how and why it moves the way it moves, but it's a U.S. based specialty semiconductor manufacturer. There might be plays in there, but if you're looking for somebody U.S. bound, that's an interesting play. It's gone up and down a couple times, quite a bit.
And what was the ticker for that?
Oh yeah, my apologies. SKYT, and that's
They destroyed their earnings last quarter. Holy shit!
It got a lot of hype when they were talking about stuff moving back to the U.S., but I don't know how much. I don't know what their actual capacity is. I don't know. People can do their own DD on that one, but it's one that I got in about a year ago.
By the way, there's no one proposing anything else. Again, as I said yesterday, semis and energy sector ETFs, buying calls and putting them. Personally, I go for put on Nvidia. Still, I don't care. Even though some would say, okay, the bottom is in. I'm not a believer. I'd just go for another, at least at the money puts, maybe weeklies. Regarding energy sectors, I still wait for any news on the Chinese market. If those news, basically say, okay, there's going to be another supply shortage of those goods, of those commodities, I just go for another round of calls on those ETFs or a couple of companies such as Shell or Total Energies.
About 2 minutes and 40 seconds to market open. Looking at some healthcare stocks right now. I'll just name the names real quick. Lilly, Humana, Johnson & Johnson, Nucor. Looking at some pharmaceuticals right now too as well. We'll see how they play. And looking at some travel stocks. Just hearing Hardy talk earlier, I was thinking maybe I should look at some travel insurance stocks. So probably looking into that today in my DD.
Sorry, isn't Nucor a steel company?
Nucor would be so I don't know. I'm just putting them on my watch list. So let me see. I guess so, huh? Yep, they are still.
What's the play with Lilly?
I have no idea. I just have them on my DD to look at today.
So you're just naming some steel and healthcare companies?
I'm actually listing steel, healthcare, and I was going to go into transportation, but I decided to hold off on that since we talked about that earlier. And also because it was quiet, so figured I'd just fill the air with something.
For those
Hey, gentlemen, just saying, pre-markets, Tesla's up about 1.2%. Looks like we've got a pump and dump again. I can see buying pressure at least for the first hour, maybe 2 hours. Markets open, pushing Tesla up back to like at least 110, maybe 111. And afterwards, I think we might be able to at least get some scalping going on with some short-term puts, just saying.
Thoughts on NVIDIA puts?
Again, as I said before, I just go for NVIDIA puts. I don't know when we will get those earnings of NVIDIA.
What were you saying, Hardy?
Expectations
Sorry.
for Nvidia should be around February, mid-February.
I'd go for puts before that. I'm not trying to risk anything on earnings, although I don't think they'll beat the earnings. At least have rather disappointing numbers. I can't imagine someone buying in any way, electronics in times of inflation. I mean, gaming PCs, e.g., were up about 15% from the previous prices.
For those who were asking about my own positions earlier, I don't have any long options contracts open with the exception of GameStop January 2023 237.50s, but those are free rolled, meaning I've already gotten my original principal back. Everything else that I have are short options or cash.
Dollar open softer.
Any big moves in the first couple seconds?
YOLO on AMC calls, just saying.
I just bounced.
Apple's down 43 cents. Nvidia's down 202.
Yeah,
Looks like
yeah.
GameStop opened up a decent amount and then it quickly erased. It's now only up 2 cents. Nintendo's up a little over 1%. Now it's at 1.25. And now GameStop's down.
SPY and S&P are dropping, by the way. Nvidia's getting fast, holy shit.
Seeing PG gapping up, J&J, those healthcare ETFs popping up here. Got McDonald's coming in at 54 cents, not bad. I think it was yesterday you guys were talking. I was listening to the live because I am traveling, and I noticed that you guys were talking about McDonald's and how if we have a recession, people are just jam-packed there. So maybe that's an interesting play. MCD.
Okay, Tesla's at 112. Okay, I know 111.50.
I have a Verizon call expiring this week. I'm kind of just trimming the fat, so to speak. It's 39 strike price. I got in at 55 cents, and it's already up 50%. And with Verizon, I've talked with Luce about this, but it is a really good valuation stock. Just because their dividend has been so high over the past 5 years. It's been consecutive. It's like 6-point-something%. And their stock price has been in the 30s for most of that time. So, you do the math in your head. If you take a chunk of money and invest it, you're getting a pretty solid return on dividends. So anytime that I do a call or a put on them and I make money on it, I just throw it back into that and just increase my position with them, and just increases my passive income through dividends.
Yeah, the return on like the stock price for past 5 years has been like down 25%.
Sorry for muting you. Go ahead. Just want to hear
I was
this
gonna-
in the background there.
Yeah, somebody's yawning. Yeah, the stock's been down like 25% in the past 5 years. I mean, it's kind of hard to see the dividend story when
What
you see
was the stock? I missed it.
Verizon. Somebody was just talking about it.
Yeah.
It's like-
AT&T's got this one too.
As a dividend play, it's kind of tough to own. I feel like there's so
No,
much like
not at all. If you look at their dividend ratio, it's let me pull it up. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
I think you said like it was annualized to like what 6 or 7%.
Yeah, it's 6.7.
Which sounds pretty good, but like it's going down a lot over time. It seems.
Yeah, I mean, we keep in mind that we've been in a pretty shitty year. It's everything's kind of gone down. Although I will say that the amount the dividend has decreased has not been like catastrophic, and their stock has done pretty well. And it's fucking Verizon. Like at the end of the day, they're one of the biggest telecom infrastructure, bases in the country. They're not going anywhere. If anything, they're just going to get bigger.
Yeah, I just because like they went into the ultra wideband, and that is kind of like the promise of 5G, but in actuality, it's not really materializing very well for people because there's so much interference when you have those really sharp, like really high frequency communications. So like I feel like that was strategically like the wrong move. And that costs a lot of money to try. And then you have like
screaming in the morning, by the way, boys.
Yeah. And then you have like T-Mobile who took the mid band and they're nothing but growing. I mean, I don't know. It's such a competitive sector. I find it hard to just rely on dividends to like protect me from like more secular threats too.
My dividend play is Vici, VICI. It's my largest holding in my and I've been building it. It's a real estate play as well as a dividend play. They just bought basically talk about Las Vegas earlier. They just bought they own basically the entire strip in Las Vegas. I think it's a phenomenal. It's just a good company and it's a safe. I think it's a safe, good dividend play. I think they yield like a little over 4%. I can check.
What was the ticker?
VICI. Their yield right now is at 4 3/4. And then I own BEPC. And again, that's BEPC. That's one that I'm down quite a bit. So I've just been dollar cost averaging in. But they just buy green energy assets and then they just operate them and then pull the year back out. I think again, these are just long-term holds, boring dividend plays that I'm just reinvesting. But dividend plays, you just gotta, I don't know, just make sure the dividend is secure.
Just wanted to say Tesla's up about 3% at the moment. So oof to outputs.
Hey folks, I just shared a post down in the comments where the commenters are talking about how there's a global shortage of Adderall. That's news to me if it's true, and I'm just wondering if y'all can comment on that. And is there perhaps possibly like a Chinese stock that like a company that produces off-brand Adderall to meet the demand?
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
I have heard about the shortage. What I'll tell you is you can actually see how critically low the supply is very easily. Come into this chat, and if everyone just can't shut up and they just keep going and going and going and they can't stay on topic, you'll know the supplies are at critical levels and there's probably a play.
Yeah.
But until that point, I think we're still on topic enough that there's probably enough circulating.
I think
What?
I think based on how long these meetings last, no, we're definitely in a shortage.
Yeah, there's a large generic drug manufacturer called Teva Pharmaceuticals. They may be a likely candidate for producing generics.
Teva is a huge drug manufacturer, and they do produce that generic drugs.
This story's been out since I think September, October.
Yeah, you also have shortages in Tamiflu and amoxicillin that are really fun to deal with.
Yep, we're short on that because I work at a pharmacy.
Which I believe is manufactured by Roche Diagnostics. Well, I don't know.
Heck yeah, I just got out of KALA. It looks like it got halted at up 84%.
Is it a shortage on specifically amoxicillin or on like all the penicillin derivatives?
That's a great question. I would ask the pharmaceutical guy.
It's all penicillin.
So you're telling me Kala is pumping, huh? Did they get a 5-minute halt?
Yeah, I got out right before the halt. But I don't know how long it is. It says,
Man,
yeah, halt at 9:35.
GG's to you for this play, dude. In at the right time, out at the right time. Nicely done.
So it looks like one of Tuesday Fly's filters is to see pre-market moves. Anything over, let's say, 10%. He'll trade the momentum, get in and out.
Yeah, the other way to catch those is relative volume.
It's on halt running.
Yeah, it's a great strategy. Doesn't really work above $1 million though.
Oh my god, I should have waited. Just kidding. So it's about to hit 100%.
You got to tell us if you
Can
buy
someone
back.
explain why Tesla's still getting pumped up to 114? What the fuck is going on?
I'm
gonna lose some Wi-Fi. So
it was like 200 million shares getting traded on it. It was down like 10-11% plus more in the aftermarket. That's why I took a bite.
Holy cow, dude! This 115%.
What ticker? What company?
KALA.
Oh yeah,
It's
the one.
just day traders absolutely smacking the shit out of it.
Yeah, dude, there was 2.4 million volume buy right at 9:30. It was either people all dumping their shares that had made the giant 70% from after hours yesterday, or those day traders.
Yeah, it'll be a good short candidate if it stays up today.
This sounds like
It's a
another
shame there's no
magic ball.
options on it.
I'm showing options.
I got
And
options.
Weeble.
I
Q4.
guess Fidelity doesn't have options on it.
Yeah,
Q4
so far today, the January 23 $2.50 has one contract traded. With 9, it's got an open inventory. We've got people that are buying the January 23 $7.50 call. 13 of them traded today. Interesting.
Yeah, those things look expensive. I think they're trading at like $7 contract.
Tesla's 115, by the way.
He did say Blue Apron was going to go up, and it's at 81 cents at the moment.
He was talking about Blue Apron 2 days ago and said he lost money on that trade, actually. I mean, these are just daily moves, I think. It's just up with the market.
He must get wrecked by wash sale. Seems like he's.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that if you're gonna truly day trade, you got to watch out for. And wash sale is 100% one of them.
Looks like Chinese stocks are dumping Hardy's.
Does anyone know how to explain seller boxing and what that is? It's like something that market makers can do. On a lower market cap stock. It's called like seller boxing or something. Yeah. Not sure. Never mind. My bad.
Is somebody trying to talk? What's happening right now?
Sounds like they're trying to speak through the blockchain, bro.
It's the Adderall. Yeah.
Oh yes, Nvidia is in red.
All right, so puts on Apple because nobody told me my mic wasn't working.
Bro, I was literally about to say puts on Apple too because my phone just turned 2 years old and instantly my battery will not last more than a day now. Like my habits have changed.
So that means you got to buy a new phone. Calls on Apple.
No,
That's a feature, not a bug.
Calls on Android because he's fucking fed up.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's got to get a new phone. Does that have to be an Apple?
Y'all get tired eventually. It's just a matter of time.
No, it's bullshit, dude. I fucking paid I got the discount promotion, so I ended up getting it only for $180, but it's a fucking $1,000 phone, you know what I mean?
So it's saying you'll get tired of Apple fucking you
can
eventually.
Actually, if your battery actually tests dead, you can trade in you can trade your phone in to get a new one because they won't give you a new battery, and I think it costs like $100. I did it with my my iPad Pro, which is fucking huge. It cost me $100, and I got a brand new one basically.
I mean, that's just like the insurance that I already pay for. Be like filing a claim because you broke your screen and they don't repair the screen, so the insurance replaces the phone. They charge you a deductible. Pretty much same concept, I'm assuming. Matter of fact, the only reason I would buy calls on Verizon is because when I broke the screen on my Note, they sent 2 young ladies to my house to repair the screen on the pool table in my shop.
That sounds like the start of a video I've seen before.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Then they took their clothes off.
No, I mean they literally just fixed my screen while I was working on trucks.
Right, working.
Sounds super expensive.
No, I mean it was free. I didn't even have to pay a deductible for the broken screen.
Yeah, well, like expensive for the company.
Oh, I have a question.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
Someone asked what seller boxing was.
Yeah, could you help me understand that?
It's kind of like when market makers short a stock down far enough to like get it into pennyland, like under it, basically down to the OTC level, and then they're able to really like just fucking kill it, like and turn it into bankrupt it basically. That's what seller boxing is. They get it down low enough to where it's basically like punching it around in a fucking basement. You know what I mean?
like DSS.
What's DSS? Is that a ticker?
Yeah, and it's been boxed to shit.
So can they do that with a company with a market cap of like less than 500 million or like 300 million, or no? It has to be like one of those like super, OTC levels.
I mean, I think they can do it really to any stock if they could get it shorted down enough, because their goal is to short it into bankruptcy, and then they don't have to pay taxes on the money that they make.
I'm sorry.
They want to bankrupt any fucking company.
They?
What's
Who's
that?
they in this right here?
Market makers.
So the market makers are shorting stocks into bankruptcy to make the monies?
Yeah, that's their ultimate goal. Then they don't have to pay taxes on any of the gains.
So they're not making markets anymore, they're deleting markets?
Well, no, they're making market makers, whoever's shorting the stock.
Jesus, it's 120%. Dude,
Not necessarily all the market makers, but some of them, fucking other, hedge funds, shit like that. Anyone shorting the stock, if it goes bankrupt, they don't have to pay taxes on their gains. And you got to figure their gains are going to be huge.
Wait, why don't you?
If it does go bankrupt, they pay taxes. They want it to be a zombie company so the valuation stays low and they don't ever realize the gains.
Yeah, I was going to say, why would going bankrupt negate taxes? You're still making money.
Are you sure they had? I thought they don't have to pay taxes if it goes bankrupt.
So the way it works, if you're talking about the seller boxing strategy, the idea is that you get the price of the share that you sold short to go just above zero. And the reason why is because when it's just above zero, but not actually zero, you're not forced to exit or unwind the trade. So you effectively have an unrealized gain of whatever that amount is. But because it's a zombie seller boxed company, it's never going to come back out of the grave.
Gotcha. Okay, my bad. I thought it was to get it
So
to zero.
do they
get it to
leverage
like
that position then?
0.0001 then basically?
They're basically borrowing against that unrealized gain to make other trades.
Gotcha.
Hey, quick
Can
question.
I ask something? Can I ask something real quick?
Yep.
All right. So I have a question. It's like based on implied volatility. So if I have so Tesla, for example, they report. I looked up. They report the 25th, but it's not confirmed. So if I sell calls, right? Like, am I getting in or before the implied volatility from earnings? Like come in, like on average, when does that implied volatility show in the options, like price? You know what I mean? Like the price change.
It shows immediately when the implied volatility changes. That's what the Vega factor is for. Now, in the
Yeah,
case
but
of
like
earnings,
how?
in
Yeah,
the
how
case
long
of
before
earnings,
earnings?
depending on the popularity of the ticker, the implied volatility starts increasing the moment the actual quarterly earnings date is announced. And for other companies, think like I don't know, your Cokes or the more boring ones, the implied volatility doesn't start increasing until 2 weeks out, maybe 1 week out. And so it's just a matter of measuring that just a matter of figuring out, let's say for Tesla, when the actual earnings announcement comes out, if implied volatility starts increasing.
Yeah, I think I saw something, but I don't know if it was like official or not. And then I think at the beginning of like the call, you guys were talking about like a calendar spread. For example, you would sell a shorter call and then buy a longer call. So that like if like right now, for example, it's before that IV change, then like in my head it would make sense as like later on your calls would be worth more like before that IV changes.
I
You
think
know
you're
what I mean?
describing a diagonal spread or a calendar spread.
Yes.
And in that case, because you have a short and a long call, the impact of IV should be negligible because you have a short and a long options contract.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. I was just wondering, like, if you got like before that change, like, would you see like a nice game? You know what I mean? But I guess not, since you have both. All right, that was my question. Thank you.
Can I say, is there any other kind of music that can play every day and us not still get sick of it?
I was hoping for some smooth Kenny G sounds in a little bit.
The music of the puts getting fucked.
Now that is music to my ears.
God bless the USA.
No, SPY dumped. So I mean, depending on if you held on to those puts, they might be green.
I'm still watching. I haven't entered anything yet, so.
Yeah, but right now the market is oversold on puts right now, right? Isn't that what everyone was saying? That like going into January, like max pain, like most companies right now are under max pain, meaning market makers are going to have an incentive to push the market up to get it close to max pain because of how many puts retail has bought.
Hardy, your Yang trade is going pretty well. Are you rolling those at 50% profit, or what's your strategy for making those push through time?
I measure the potential annualized return on the remaining expiration versus opening a new trade. So I don't specifically wait for 50%. I'm constantly comparing the annualized return of the remaining theta against the annualized return of a new contract's theta.
Got it. You do spot checks on that, or you have sort of a program that you've written to help with that?
I've got bots that monitor it for me.
Nice. You said you're on Interactive Brokers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks.
God damn it.
The back music, if I remember correctly, that's all album.
That's all what?
You're breaking up there, buddy.
Yeah, you broke up. Repeat that.
I believe that's Nickelback's instrumental.
No.
Yo, guys, I don't mean to be like that guy, but there's this investment company called RC Management LLC that just bought a condominium at one of the associations that we manage, and it might be Ryan Cohn, guys. He might have bought a condo. Ryan Cohn Management.
What was it called? RC what?
RC Management. Sounds like a sketchy name, man. Well, yeah, RC is like I think Ryan Cohn's like nickname, or it's his initials or something. I don't know.
Hey, Opinion, I wanted to thank you for having these talks on YouTube. It allows me to catch up at twice the speed of just listening in, on Reddit.
Oh yeah, no problem. I think the other big benefit to it too is it lets you control the volume a little bit better. And so yeah, we'll be putting them out on podcasts eventually. I keep saying we'll do it, but it's been a little. I forget that not everyone has YouTube Premium like me. Some of you guys are peasants, so you can't do the background.
I'm not paying for YouTube
And if
Premium.
you want to use all the benefits of YouTube Premium, but you don't want to pay $11, just download the browser Brave. And Brave, you can download all your YouTube videos to their browser. You can watch ad-free YouTube. You can even close the YouTube video and browse other apps while you're listening to the YouTube in the background. Brave is the future. They're going to take over Google. I hate Google. Puts on Google.
So those are the benefits to having the YouTube Premium thing.
Yeah, you get the benefits of being able to download all your videos, watching them offline, not using your data, getting the ad-free, viewing experience, and then also you can close the app while still getting the audio in the background while you're doing other things, or even have your phone locked. But people pay for YouTube Premium for those three key features, and the thing that they don't know is that literally nowadays there's competitors for that, like Brave, the browser. You can download it on Apple, Android phones, and literally you just go to YouTube through their browser. You don't have to watch any ads. You can click the video, put it in full screen mode, and then swipe out of the video, and then it still goes into audio mode, so you can still listen to it. I mean, it's just there's no reason to pay that $12. I canceled mine 2 months ago because I got so sick of just all the bullshit that that comes with YouTube being owned by Google. There's fuck Google, man. Puts on Google.
If you have an Android, download YouTube Vanced, VANCED, and it'll even allow you to skip the spot. Say if the channel has an ad read themselves, it'll automatically skip that. Sorry, you iPads.
Did anybody short
Yeah.
the top at all? Anybody get in?
Short who?
Did anybody short at the top?
Oh my god, dude, it's going to 130%. Why did I sell?
Ooh. GameStop, by the way, just broke 18. It's now 1789 or so.
That's the first time in what, 2 years?
I'm feeling pretty bullish on GameStop.
Hey, Hardy, I have a question because I was listening in on the YouTube side, and you said something about Tesla
Oh
not
my
to
god,
sell.
140. It's up 140%. I'm sorry.
You said to not sell or not to start buying put positions until 145. Do you have like a thesis around that?
That's where delta neutral is.
Nice. Okay, thank you. So upsies.
Morning, guys.
It doesn't mean buy calls. It just means I won't look at buying puts until the price goes up there to 146.
Thank you.
A couple other advantages of listening on YouTube. If you don't catch the ticker, you can quickly go back 10 seconds. Is in an area that doesn't have the greatest cell service for some reason, or for me anyway. The Reddit app can be sketchy, but on YouTube it uses less data to listen if you have the screen off. So that works out for me quite often.
Also, then you can subscribe to the official Wall Street Bets YouTube channel and join the Discord. Get on it, folks. It's important.
I didn't know we had a YouTube.
Yep, I
All
will
right.
take my $5 now, opinion. Thank you.
Yes. Clearly, we got to be plugging it more because people still don't know.
You get paid in dollars? I just get like Reddit silver every now and then.
I guys are getting paid.
Since it's Canadian, it's almost like a postage stamp, but it adds up.
Oh, there's the music. I thought it stopped for a second. I was just thinking to myself, I wonder what happened to Shepherdess.
I know I haven't heard from her in a while.
She was
You went
in
to
that
sleep.
Walmart play, right? Wasn't that like her baby?
True. Sorry, I heard you said she went to sleep.
She's been sleeping for a long time.
Well, she needs to catch up on her sleep.
Opinion, did you sell your golden avatar?
Yes, I sold it for ETH and another gold avatar. So now I have to sell the other gold avatar.
Was that when you tried to sell your Ethereum, but then bought Ethereum by mistake, and then had to resell both Ethereum?
No, I sold my ETH and then sorry, I got ETH and then I had like a couple dust balances of like small like $1 or $2 of random coins from like those like stupid surveys they give you on like Coinbase. So I was like, oh, I'll just market sell some of my like these useless things. But then I accidentally market bought, and it was painful. And then the
Did
worst
you
part
cry?
is
Did you
the
cry?
next day, the shit coin that I like accidentally went all in and then sold everything at pumped like 20%. Like literally the next day.
They literally waited for you to buy and then sell, and then they're like, "All right, folks, he's sold. Now we can do it."
Exactly.
Somebody
I
set
don't
the collectivity on that coin and was like, "Oh, it's gonna pump." You were the trigger.
It was the trigger. God.
I have like a play, but I kind of want to see like what you guys think of it. So the ticker is STNG. They're like an oil company, and to me, like the stock, it keeps going up. So I have calls on it. I have a spread February 17th for next year. I bought the $50 call and I sold the $55 call. And yeah, I'm just hoping it keeps going up. And then if it drops to like the 200 AMA, I'm thinking about buying more, like more of those spreads to like lower my cost basis down. But the like if it's profitable by like near expiration, I'm thinking about like rolling them because it keep like as I said, if you look at the charges, it looks really good, in my opinion.
Is there a particular reason you're bullish on oil tankers?
Uh, no particular reason. I just think that like the crisis with oil is just gonna continue, and then they seem to like be they've been meeting expectations, and their chart has been going up basically. Like they just reported like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and they beat they just basically met, but they beat almost. It was a slight beat. So then to me the company is doing all right, and then if you look at the chart, it just keeps going up. So then if it does drop to the 50 MA before like my contracts expire, because I have them for like mid-February, and then I'm just thinking about just buying more till then, and then just if it's profitable, rolling it out for for like a longer period of time.
So if it were me personally, and my only reason to own the stock was because I've made money, but it would be cooler if I made even more money, then that would probably be the point where I'd say I don't really have a reason to hold this. But obviously you do you.
But does it look like optimal based on like the price action and the thing with oil like going up? But that's just what I'm in right now. I just wanted to hear
I mean,
you
obviously,
guys'
there's a
opinion.
reason why it's gone up. So, I mean, something is triggering it. You just don't understand what that is. You might try to figure out what it is that's doing it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Crazy, I actually had a question for you on a different topic that you talked about earlier, if you have a sec. Do you do Reddit talks for like HSA planning and stuff like that? I know this isn't the right channel for it, but just seeing if you guys have thought about doing something like that, because I'm trying to start an HSA for my family, and just wanted to know what your strategies were.
Yeah, we'll put it on the list of ideas we have. So the idea is, as we moved into season 2, we wanted to do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday doing the regular community talks, and then Tuesday, Thursday being like more focused discussions. So, for example, on HSA planning. So we kind of pushed it back to the new year. So yeah, that can be one of the topics. We just need to go out and find an expert now.
We're getting so close to Wall Street Bets presents Aflac's talk on long-term disability insurance. I can't wait. I cannot wait until we get there. It's going to be peak.
I do have long-term disability.
I had a laugh the other day because on the moderation queue, someone had flagged someone's post because it was from Robinhood. He's like, why haven't we banned all posts from Robinhood yet?
I did want to give a quick shout out to Note 777 for calling out the ticker KALA last night. That was a sweet call out, man. Thank you.
Yeah, you owe me a call out now, man. Teddy, now you got to give me a call out tomorrow.
The crazy thing is there are stocks literally every single day, typically that pump. I don't know, anywhere between 50 to 100%.
Yeah, I'm hoping this January coming up is going to be some high volume days coming at the end of January. I know the first couple weeks will probably be kind of dead, but I think volume's going to pick up.
Did you say Dave as in ticker Dave?
Oh, the next couple days are going to be dead. No, I didn't say Dave. I'm sorry. No.
I think, did you speak? So whoever mentioned that HSA, did you ask me a question specifically? Okay, good. I had a video on, and I thought I heard Denny. I just fuck what?
Hey, actually, I do have a question for you. You said that you work with Lively as your HSA custodian.
Yes.
Okay, and then you use TD Ameritrade, and you said something about the relationship between them, or you could manage your Lively account through TD Ameritrade, something like that.
Yep, that's correct.
Cool. I've not heard of that before. That's interesting. So it just has like a little portlet or something that pipes in like the Lively interface or whatever, and you can
So you have like one account, and I have account 1 and account 2, and I can manage them separately or look at them jointly.
You can literally place buys and sells on your Lively account through TD Ameritrade.
Yeah, but you can't do options in your HSA.
Wow, very cool. Do you know if other brokerages support Lively as well?
That's a good question. I don't know. I know my employer, I pounded on my employer to get an investable HSA option for probably 2 years, and they finally got it. But the cool thing is, really, all your employer needs, if you have an HSA, all they need is your routing number, and they can send it to any custodian. So you can have Lively just is really nice because it's free, and I think that they have a pretty good, interface. But I can't speak to anybody else that does it. I don't know why you'd go anywhere else unless there was some other particular reason. Lively does a great job, and so does TD Ameritrade ultimately.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you could probably do Schwab. I mean, some of the bigger ones, I would think, have portals as well.
Nice. You had to do like a plaid integration or something like that to get the credentials passed through? Question mark.
Yes, I was actually pulling up my Lively account. I don't specifically remember, but yeah, I mean, I think plaid is used just about frigging everywhere. So I would think that would be a reasonable expectation to some degree. But yeah.
Does anyone know if that company is going to go public at some point?
I believe they were tried to get acquired by PayPal, right? And then it was denied.
Actually, that sounds about right. Let me do some Googling. I think you're right.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
On that. Okay, that's great because my microphone's been out on my phone on Bluetooth for like 2 weeks. So, all right, cool. Figured it out. Good, appreciate it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll wrap up maybe in like 7 minutes then. I think we've talked about quite a few different things today. So we'll end it off on a high note.
By the way, another play I'd suggest is calls on the beverage industry, especially Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Low maintenance costs, cost structure is basically, again, extremely low, and they are incredibly consistent during times of recession and inflation. So just saying, I can see those companies, especially Coca-Cola, going up big time next couple of months.
So, what are everyone's Super Bowl predictions?
I'm Canadian. Do I get to play the Super Bowl?
I mean, sure, we just will count yours like half as much.
I don't know anything about the Super Bowl.
I'm pretty sure Canadians created football opinion, so.
We created basketball. I think it was. Who invented basketball?
No football opinion, but if I tell them the Maple Leafs are going to choke again in the playoffs, they'll probably have a million ideas about it.
I made a ton of money. I made a ton of money from the Leafs choking in the playoffs. So
they're very good at it.
Oh, they're fantastic at it. I love it. It's great.
I've made plenty of money behind the Wendy's dumpster choking on something else.
A junior baconator?
Hey, yo, that's kind of sus.
All right. Anyone want to recap their plays before we wrap off and off?
Don't lose too much money.
Yeah, we still got a couple minutes. I'm gonna try and poke Hardy, see if he's wants to give a little update on
There's
things.
nothing to update opinion.
Yep.
Like I said, I don't intend to trade speculative long options contracts till next year.
You're telling me that there's nothing in this big wide market that tempts you? Not even a
No.
tiny bit.
Not even a tiny bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is proper risk management.
WallStreetBets 101.
And of course, the no balls emoticons go up. Nice one, nice one, chat. Nice one.
Well, it's interesting because I was thinking about doing like some kind of sticky post on like explaining why we post loss porn. It's not like because we want to lose money, and I think that's something that outsiders kind of don't get. It's more of like a sobering thought, as like, oh, you actually can lose money. Things aren't just always peachy, as you know, other finance communities show.
Also, it's fucking funny.
It's just because it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's also a great like learning opportunity because, you know, when you're making money, you never stop and look back and be like, oh, I wonder why that made money. You're just like, I'm a genius. I am a god. But when you lose money, then you start analyzing everything, or you just delete Robinhood. But I mean, hopefully it's the first one. So I was thinking about making a post like that, but I'm not sure exactly how to word it.
You learn far more. You learn far more from your losing plays than your winners will ever teach you.
Right. Exactly. Hardy, what was that?
But I would like to graduate. It would be nice to be done with school.
Have OpenAI write it for you.
Have Open,
Their
yeah.
ChatGPT platform. Seriously, some people are now using ChatGPT to write their cover letters. and I had to write I built a quick tool for the portfolio of companies I advise to now run all the applications through this tool to see the probability that it was written by AI.
Well, would that be such a bad mark
It
against
tells
somebody?
me that they're lying. Well, no. The biggest reason why it would hurt them is because they're potentially misrepresenting their ability.
Yeah, fair. Although I'm curious, how do you even detect? I know there's some certain patterns that ChatGPT uses.
That's precisely it.
Yeah, like I think the list
When
of
you
3.
receive like 200 applications and like 30 of them are clearly AI written, they're very obvious patterns. I won't say what they are, but there are some very obvious patterns.
Wow, is that many? Really?
It's growing because the number of people who are struggling to get entry-level jobs, because the number of relative entry-level jobs is decreasing, they're going to resort to more cunning tactics.
Makes sense.
I just put a picture of my portfolio.
Oh no, I hope it's a. Take a look.
Hey, Opinion, I'm happy to write that post for you about why lost porn is a good thing. Just know halfway through it'll turn into a giant rant about how the hedgies are actually ruining us all, and then it'll get back on topic towards the end. I'll just try to hide it in there to see who actually reads it.
Oh goodness. Denny, I can't find your photo.
Let me pull it up on stock photos. It's the one with the cowboy. It's a Trump NFT.
By the way, I've looked at the comments, and it looks like journalist was present during the first couple of hours in this talk. So, anything funny happening between him and the snake, aka Luz?
Luz wasn't here for that.
Yeah,
Ah,
they've so
shit.
far avoided each other. We haven't seen them in the same room twice at the same time recently, so
maybe
it has to happen.
I would
Special
like to see
edition
that.
Wall Street Bets pre-market talk. Luz versus journalist.
Celebrity deathmatch, Wall Street Bets edition.
I mean, personally, I would vote for as little journalist as possible. Whatever good plays he might have are lost in the snarkness of "I'm the smartest in the room and I smell my farts on the weekend" attitude.
I loved how he tried to brag how he had 900 followers. Like,
oh my
that's not a lot
god.
of followers.
Hardy, I think
Yeah,
you give
his
him a little bit more
390
credit.
followers.
390.
not even 900.
Maybe
Go on,
unpopular opinion here, but journalist is a dick, but I feel like you guys get like shit on him too much, considering how much we fuck with each other. It's just funny that everyone piles in on him when he's talking.
No, I'm sorry. You don't get to come in and tell women to sit down and shut up and go to the kitchen and then get any semblance of respect from here. Like, there's a line.
No. I don't give a shit about being, I don't know, racist, sexist, narcissist. Just shut the fuck up, bro. You're not better than any of us, That's my problem. I don't give a shit.
I mean, Luce will come in here
Him
and call
coming
us
in
all
here,
retard.
it's just fucking
Opinion,
funny.
I
Him
put-
coming in here and
I
say,
put up,
I'm a humble guy. I'm not gonna overly celebrate Christmas, having some having my mind on the poor people. Oh fuck! Shut up, please.
I think we're done shitting on journalists. Opinion, I put
I
up
saw
a
that.
hypothetical article for you to post.
Excellent, thank you.
It took me all of 30 seconds.
I want to get better at rating the queries actually for ChatGPT. I mean, there was a very brief moment in time where people were actually selling the queries for Stable Diffusion, or what was the other one? Dolly 2.
Yeah, that's not going to be a thing much longer.
Yeah. But it takes a little bit of skill to ask it in the right way.
And for all the annoying attributes of journalists, it's still worth it to hear Hardy's verbal smackdown while he's still even keeled, sound like he's eating his oatmeal, reading a paper.
Fuck.
Next time he tries to
Understand,
flex
it's not
on us
intended
about
to
his
attack
followers.
journalists. It is intended
By the way,
to,
guys, I'm
however,
kind of curious. What's actually like your investing / trading strategy, apart of YOLOing on options?
buy low, sell high.
True.
Buy high, sell higher.
Yeah.
Find good sector.
Buy high,
invest in good
never
sector.
sell.
I'm just saying, what kind of financial products are you using, except or apart from options? I mean, futures, ETFs, etc.
Physical delivery of corn.
Nice. Nice.
I heard you can sell that stuff for bank if you keep it in your trunk. It won't go bad.
True.
Titty, I think you won that one. Hardy's is funny, but Titty win.
That was just a stupid joke that should have died a long time ago from somebody that's told it too many times. I don't want any sort of credit for that stupid comment.
Yeah, but the timing was brilliant. If you know, you know.
Calls on corn.
I'm more long
Bullish-
board
bullish
future
and corn.
myself.
Kind of see myself being bullish on water or water companies because, using all of this nuclear energy bullshit again, we just have a shit ton of waste and our water sources are going to go really fucking bad.
You do? No, never mind.
Time to wrap it up, opinion?
Yes. All right. Yep. Then thanks everyone for coming, and we'll see you all. Yep, tomorrow. Markets are closed January 2nd, I believe. So just a heads up, you probably won't lose any money that day.
Huh. All right, boys, here.
Challenge accepted, opinion. Challenge accepted.
I do want to point out before we end, tomorrow morning unemployment claims will be announced, I believe, for, let's see, well, in the US, unemployment claims will be announced. If it's higher than the 225,000 unemployment claims that are projected, then potentially bullish for SPY because it means the rate hikes are working. If lower, then bearish for SPY because rates are not working and the Fed may need to take a more aggressive stance.
Yep.
What time is that? What time are those
8:30.
numbers released starting?
8:30 in the morning,
Okay, thank you.
Eastern time.
I feel like if you don't know
Also,
an economic... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m., natural gas storage will be announced. Now, I don't know if this includes the consumption or the drawdown of natural gas. Let's see. During the past week, so it does not include the storm that happened this week. So I imagine if natural gas storage is dramatically less than expected, then calls on Boyle, I believe. That's the natural gas ETF.
So
I'm not personally
those
taking any of these
storages are...
plays, but if you've got like dollars itching a hole in your pocket, those are some reasonable options to approach.
So if those storages are, less empty than projected, puts on boil and...
If the storage
lower.
is more empty than projected, that is to say there is less natural gas in storage than expected, calls on Boyle. Otherwise,
more
puts.
empty, yeah. I was kind of confused because, supply and everything,
More empty, meaning there's less natural gas than expected, means the price of natural gas goes up, therefore Boyle.
Yeah.
Otherwise, calls on cold, which is the inverse.
Lower supply.
Cold with a K, of course.
Yeah. So basically, depending on supply, we'll just buy calls or puts. Yeah.
It'll be calls, but either way, but depends on the ticker.
Yeah.
Or theoretically, you could buy, since they're both leveraged ETFs, you could buy calls on both cold and boil, and in theory, one will outpace the other.
Huh.
In practice,
True.
it's probably not going to be true.
Yeah. Tesla's finally free falling. Dear me.
Finally.
I mean, for the day, of course.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I think that just aligns with SPY. And it looks like even GME will be testing 16 soon, or sorry, $17 soon.
Damn.
Anywho,
AMC is a legit shot at 0, so go for it, AMC.
I won't put it 0, but it
By
will
the way,
go up.
Grindr's
Oh,
still an undervalued stock. Just saying.
Wait, who said that? Who said Grindr's undervalued?
I did.
Oh, bro, just out of curiosity, is there some sort of an implication with you saying that Grindr's undervalued? Are you a fervent consumer of that products?
No, we actually have a few agents of ours that are actually doing some DD on Grinder that have actually made fake accounts.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but be that so serious was just okay. Okay.
Opinion has been researching for years. He was prepped for this play.
Yeah, there's actually a guy here named Slut Spoiler who made a fake account on Grinder to do some deep diving.
Yeah, fake.
I'm focused more on him deep diving on Grinder.
Oh yeah, sorry, you're right.
I always
Well,
thought
there's,
DD on Grinder was a double Dutch.
Oh gosh. On that note, we should wrap this up before we get serious trouble.
Yeah, it sounds like this is Loose Adventures talk now.
Thanks everyone for coming out.
Opinion, who's winning the Stanley Cup?
Try not to lose too much money, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.
Take care. Bye bye.
Cheers.